Good morning, America. As they say, as I say, this is the Chief, KGM1.com. Last week, from our little soiree thing with Dr. Johnson, Dr. Cheryl Johnson, I had so many calls from women. I was inundated with calls from women. And I'm asking, where is the man population? Where is the brains of the man population? And somebody who's very well versed in speaking about population and stuff like that, I have here today, Fatima Asfarel.
Hi. How are you?
Gotta be louder, baby.
Oh, sorry.
There you
sorry.
go. Oh, there you go. Get that voice out there. How you doing? What's been going on since I seen you last?
Oh, a lot of things.
Like?
Yeah, I just did a television show called Tomorrow's Thespians in Los Angeles. I've been filming My Music Block TV. So I've been pretty busy doing a couple things. Just had a photo shoot a couple days ago. I had 2 of them back to back. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Busy lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come marry you.
Yeah, I was wearing a dress that was created by Lorraine Bishops.
Mm-hmm.
She did my costume for the Barbary Coast Review.
Uh-huh.
So the dress is absolutely beautiful. In fact, I want to wear it again. It's just so stunning.
Really?
Yes.
Barbary Coast Review. That went a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a hit. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
was following the ratings of it. I mean,
Thank you.
I was very impressed.
Thank you.
You know, and the music was very well put together. Who put the music together for you?
Well, it was Blake's idea, the creator, and the music director, who is actually Mark Twain. He actually did the music direction, so he rearranged it and blended it really well, and so that's who was the person who kind of put it together and added some more imagination to it, other than Blake, of course, because he rewrote the lyrics.
Are you going to do anything like that in the near future?
I sure hope so. It's hard to say. It's sometimes it's about scheduling and, the location. Some musicals are like out in San Jose and, so, yeah.
I have been watching you on your music box situation there, and you're moving and shaking.
Oh, thank you. Thank
you are actually getting better and better and better. When I first started looking at it, I said, well, I looked at it, but the more I look at it, I see how intuitive you are into real hardcore music. You're a hardcore musician.
Yeah. I definitely, I try to pay attention to what other artists are doing. The hardest thing is when you have training and you're working with people who don't have correct training, but still being able to appreciate them.
Yeah.
So it kind of wiggles around in there. But I line up the music videos on My Music Block TV. I have one of the best singers of all time.
Who's that?
Mary Wilson. So we're playing her new music video.
Oh.
Yeah, I met her record label, the guy who produced and directed the video, whose name is Michael. He has an Italian last name, but he DJs by the name Tweeka Turner. Mary Wilson, I've actually had the pleasure to talk to her. She's a very sweet person, and we're more than happy to be playing her music videos on the show. I mean, she's awesome. She has all these costume changes and different little outfits. So she's beautiful. So her video is like usually the first one to get played.
She is now one of the sultry sounding singers of yesterday. Her voice really matured really into a nice element,
Yeah.
I heard some stuff from her not too long ago, and I was very impressed.
Yeah. Well, the song that we're playing, oh God, we're live, so like I get these brain farts, but it's like one of her first hit songs in a long time. And she was like so excited about it. She was like, I haven't had a hit song since blah blah blah. Well, maybe I'm getting a little bit too into like her business, but you know, like but her record company was very nice and everything. She did a show with Martha Walsh a couple months ago, and that's around the time I talked to her.
Oh, you actually talked to her?
Yeah.
Oh, go on, girl.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we were talking with Dr. Johnson, I wanted to get your expertise on it. Yes. I like that word, expertise. You know, the effects on women, music's effect on women early in the morning. And there's different times, different places, different things happen to us. But women seem to have their program together for going into public, where we were talking a little bit ago. A man would just jump up in the same clothes he put on the floor the night before, including the stuff, the under stuff. He'll jump up, put the same stuff on, and go out in the public the next day, just like it's the day before.
Yeah.
Women seem to be more in tune to presentation in the public, and they seem to have a better outlook on where they're going and how they're going. Men are kind of sloppy. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think is good music to listen to in the morning for most women? And give me an idea of some artists. You can name them on here, okay?
I personally listen to meditation music and hypnosis music and positive affirmations. I don't listen to that every day, like I didn't listen to it this morning, but that's usually a part of my routine when I do get up.
Affirmation?
Yeah, positive affirmations.
Explain that.
Positive affirmations is like speaking positivity into your life. So like you visualize it, you say it, and then it happens. So it's like, people love to give me money. See, I see it in my mind. People loving and being happy to give me money. And then I say it out loud, and then people give me money. So I listen to that in the morning.
People love to love you. There is a lot of people that I run into. When I say Eyes for Elle, she said, oh, my God, I know she's a sweetheart. I hear that all over the Bay Area. I'm serious. Wherever I go, that is the first thing people say about you, that you're a sweetheart.
Wow, that's
so
sweet.
You kind of project an image out there that's real. You do. I'm not just saying that. You know, I wouldn't build you up to let you down. I'm just saying that, you know, you have this good following of people who followed you. And I want to know, how does that make you feel when people come back to you and say, well, you know, I really enjoyed what you did?
Oh, well, that would definitely make me feel very happy. People don't usually tell me that. So, like, it's really overwhelming hearing you say that. You know, definitely, if you feel that way about me, please do let me know. I mean,
how would people email you or Skype you or whatever that communication stuff is?
Well, I'm usually on Instagram and on Vine.
Vine.
Yeah. Vine.co/EYEZ. That's me. I'm on Instagram as Miss Eyes, MSEYEZ. So I'm also on Twitter, but that's at EYE39Z. So I'm a bit harder to find on there. But you can, I guess Instagram right now for the moment, for the flavor of the moment, is probably the best way to contact me. If you follow me and like and comment in the picture, say, you know, follow back or something, I'll probably follow you back, and it'll be easier to message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to question number 2.
Okay.
The type of music women like in the morning.
Okay. As I like the positive affirmations, I would say, you know, there are different types of women out there.
Right. But generalities. I mean, I hear a whole lot of generalities about what type of music they like to hear in the morning.
I think depending on the maturity and what that woman's into, I would say a lot of ballads,
Really?
Be it pop, rock, or R&B or jazz ballads. I would say most women listen to that. A lot of people like to start their day, like today, with talk radio to know what's going on. First thing they want to do is know what's going on in the morning. But there are some women who can't wait to fight. And, you know, they listen to that fighting music.
Wow.
Yeah, like hardcore gangster rap in the morning.
I understand that a lot of young women listen to that, and a certain flavor of old women listen to that also. I won't say old. I regress that. I just stepped in it. Women who are in their late 20s, early 30s listen to that kind of music.
In the morning?
Attack music, I call it.
Attack music. Yeah. See, sometimes, I would say me personally, sometimes I would listen to something more clubbish because that's the level that I'm on. Like most of the time I like to feel like I'm going to the club, but I haven't felt like that lately. I don't get to party as much as I used to. When I had my own apartment, it was like a party in the morning, party in the afternoon, party at night. So like all it is. That's just all it is. But, you know, unfortunately, those days are over, but not forgotten, and we'll be back. Remember, positive affirmations.
Positive affirmations.
I will party all day and party all night.
So you actually vision something
Yeah.
and believe it in your mind.
Yeah.
And it actually happens.
Yeah. And they have music that says those positive affirmations for you.
Oh, really?
So that you program your mind to believe it. Because sometimes when you listen to things over and over again, you believe it. So I believe, like, why not give a positive affirmation CD a chance? I mean, what could go wrong?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just listening to those positive words over and over again.
We seem to have this thing about negativity in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, there is so much. And one lady told me, she says, every time she hears rap music and a woman is mentioned, she cringes, she said, and she gets to the point where she just didn't even want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I said, is it that bad? She says, some of the language, some of the stuff that is said about women, she said, she stays completely away from it. So I would beckon to say that is the young guys' music. Am I right?
Yes, but I understand what the lady is saying.
Uh-huh.
But all rap music isn't like that. I mean, we
Right.
could jokingly say that, but there are rap songs that are just about partying, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think that a lot of rap is supposed to be kind of like that. And I think that some rap music is just supposed to acknowledge what's around.
Yeah.
But I think right now, hip hop is more about being flashy and showing off about everything. So they would probably rap about disrespecting women because they're showing off, like they're a pimp. But, you know.
Like they're a pimp.
Yeah, like they're a pimp.
Oh, my God.
I highly doubt most of them are. But I can see what she's saying. And there are times when I don't want to listen to that. But that's leading back to the early morning music. That's something I hardly ever listen to in the morning. If I do listen to that, it's usually at nighttime when I feel like dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't generally listen to Rack City or anything like that early in the morning.
When do you ever listen to soothing music?
I mainly listen to that in between morning and depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing something like chilling at home, maybe early in the day. But I listen to it before I go to bed, too.
Wow.
Yeah, to help get me sleepy. Yeah. Try to keep a lot of positive thoughts in my mind.
Well,
it's easy for them to get lost.
It means I got to go in the music business and learn to sing there, ladies and gentlemen. My producer's not even looking up.
Oh, well, you can do the positive affirmations track.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, because you just talk.
How in the Bay Area, how much do you get around in the Bay Area?
What do you mean?
How many places do you normally go to sing and to do your craft?
Well, that's a lot. Every place from Balançoire to, let's see, because I just did a show. I'm going to be doing a show in Hayward next week there's a cafe out there. I forgot what it's called, but I do the Octopus Lounge. I did that like for the whole month of February in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm everywhere. I've done Sweet Fingers. Like, I had a weekly showcase there in San Leandro. So, yeah, I guess you can say I'm just about everywhere here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Can I ask you a personal question?
Oh, sure.
How old are you?
Well,
I know women don't like to answer that question. but I had to answer it.
Well, I'm young enough to be a fan of Aaliyah.
Wow.
And old enough to appreciate her.
Aaliyah was quite, in her short time,
Yeah.
quite an artist.
Exactly.
She had something that you don't see in just about everybody.
Exactly.
And I understand, too, she was quite a consummate humanitarian.
Yeah.
She gave a lot back to the community.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of people doing that in the time now? Because it seems that the minority community is in such turmoil. You seeing people from the arts come back into the community to try to help out?
Yes, I do. The ones like that are around me, closer to me. Not all of them, but I do see some.
Some.
Yeah, like Mr. Fab. He often gives back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Cat Williams, he's not a singer. He raps, but he's really a comedian. But he gives back to the community a lot too.
What's his name?
Cat Williams.
Oh, Cat Williams?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
he's funny. Yeah.
He's crazy, too.
Yeah.
He is. Cat Williams says anything.
Yeah, I love Cat Williams.
If you want to really see somebody who will tell you anything and everything, find Cat Williams. He's got some nice videos out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some nice videos out. And I think I like that. One of the things that I want to go back to is music during problems. A lot of women say they have certain music they listen to during personal problems, financial problems, and just problems in life.
Yeah.
What do you think?
See, I hate to sound like a one-trick pony, but that's part of why I listen to positive affirmations.
Okay.
Because I have a problem and I want it to be fixed.
Right.
So I want to believe that it could change. So I listen to songs and positive affirmations that I believe will bring a positive change into my life.
Because a lot of people like to listen to love music. A lot of women in general listen to a lot of love music.
Yeah, see, with me, I listen to love songs usually if I like the song.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I will say certain songs that are sexual, I might listen to that. But love songs, sometimes they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think most women probably listen to that, but I don't like that.
I talked to 3 or 4 women over the weekend before coming here, and they were saying they like stuff like Diana Ross. They like Nina Simone.
Uh-huh.
They like, who else they were talking about? Nina Simone, Nancy Wilson. A lot of the older women listen to music on that order. And I would like to say that I can understand the language and the feeling from music of that era because that was the time that I came up. Nancy Wilson's is 79 years old, I think, this week. And she's still singing. And the things that we look for in my generation was music as a communication device, speaking across the lines
Exactly.
of race, color, creed, religion. Music back then said something about the whole spectrum of life, whereas music today is kind of classified in different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you see, that's the problem. They don't allow, and for some reason, the music doesn't fit the qualifications to be heard in the public, because there are artists out there who sing about what's going on or speaking up for someone who's going through something, but they don't play it on the radio. It's not on online radio. It's not available in enough abundance for people to say, oh yeah, I want to listen to that one. I don't think it's out there like that.
Yeah.
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 I think that people like to stick to a particular format of what they think is hot. I really think everything is not hot. I just think that people don't want to take a chance on something that might work because they're so used to the same thing.
Could you say it's lukewarm out? There's a lot of lukewarm stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I want to take a quick second to do a shout out to Mrs. Mary Elizabeth Barton in Phoenix, Arizona. She's 104 years old.
Wow. Happy
104.
birthday.
I have known her 54 years. Would you believe that? I have known her
Yeah.
54 years. Norvella Barton. Norvella is about 66 right now, and I've known her since she was 14 years old.
Wow.
So these are some long-term friends, and this what we was talking about all this good stuff, what music does to people, the living spectrum of life, and how we get through things. And you know what? 104 years old is a long time, and she still likes to dance.
Oh, wow. See?
She likes to get around. She still likes to sing Dixieland jazz.
Oh, wow.
104 years old.
Congratulations.
This is Mary Elizabeth Barton.
Happy
My honey.
birthday.
Boy, she is a honey, too. And she is quite spry. So here we go. And, music keeps things in perspective when you're in trouble,
Yeah.
when you're depressed, and when you have this thing about just not getting along in life with people at times. Music kind of bridges that gap. Am I right?
Yes, it sure does.
Yeah, I think I was listening to Nancy Wilson, and one of the things that I want to say is thoughts of a common man. Just the thought of you. Oh my God! Whenever I hear that, I just melt like old butter.
Yeah.
But it's synonymous of what we are and who we are, because one of the things is just the thought of you is thinking about people and thinking about I think about you all the time. Because somewhere in my repertoire, I run into you on something all the time. Or I run into somebody about you.
That's so
sweet. I want you to, next time you come, I want to, kind of put you a little bit out there a little bit.
Okay.
And, tell people where you're going to be.
Okay.
Where are you going to be? You got anything in mind now?
Yes, I do. At the Snappy Cafe in Hayward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be there next week, actually. So I think it's on Monday.
Snappy.
Yeah, the Snappy Cafe in Hayward. I think it's at 6:00.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's online.
It's what?
It's online, so maybe a little later I could just confirm.
Snappy Cafe.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. One of the things that I'm realizing is that the little bitty eateries like that are now garnering some really good music. They're having programs.
Yeah.
Octopus.
Yeah, the Octopus.
Salon. I enjoyed the Octopus.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you came. You came to that show.
That's on Franklin, isn't it?
Or Webster.
Webster.
It's one of those two in Oakland.
Around 20-something in Webster on Oakland.
Yeah, downtown Oakland.
Yeah, it's a neat little place. One of the things, too, that if you go to the Lake Chalet in Oakland during the summertime, they have jazz and they have guest singers there. Some of them will just knock your socks off. One of the most prolific singers in the Bay Area that I actually met several years ago, her name was Tressa Lewis. If anybody out there ever hear of her, know where she is, or like that, Tressa Lewis and a pianist named Tyrell Prude. They were a duo, and I mean, you talking about somebody who can put out some music. Tressa Lewis was so like a songbird in the summertime, and Tyrell Prude was very elegant on the piano, and he actually he could put it out there.
Yeah.
I heard you play. You're pretty doggone good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're pretty good all-around musician.
Thank you.
So, who teaches you voice?
Well, my auntie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a family affair.
Something like that. It's. I had another vocal coach. I lost his number. So I mean, it's just one of those things. I try to keep learning new stuff. It's easier said than done, because when you're a pop singer and like when you do what I do in particular, which is sing your own songs, you really don't have the free time to learn new things or explore other things. So you kind of just have to stay in your lane as an artist. But part of what makes us artists is learning other things, like Mozart. Like I like the Magic Flute by Mozart, and I learned how to sing another Mozart song when I was much younger. Devyani non tardar. I forgot the name of the song, but that's the opening lyrics.
Mozart was a minority. You know that, don't you?
No, I don't know that.
They all throughout history, they have painted him lighter than what he was. And not too long ago, they came out with a picture of him, a real picture of him. And I will tell you, he is not light.
He's not that light. Yeah.
And he was quite a promiscuous individual.
Yeah. Well, we all know that.
Promiscuity.
Yeah.
I say that word. I say that word right.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, I'm an angel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you wanted to tell people about getting into business, what are some of the things you would tell young people about getting into the business?
Get a vocal coach. One of the most obnoxious things is sitting through a performance of someone who can't sing. And I have to deal with that a lot. I mean, because when you become an artist, it's not just about you anymore. It's about the people who you work with. But one of the worst things you could do is sit there and clap for someone who thinks they can sing, whose parents encourage it and can't sing. If you ever heard of Florence Jenkins, learn a lesson from her, because I just saw the movie Marguerite, and it really made me sit down and think. Have you heard this story of her?
No.
Okay, so Florence Jenkins was an amateur opera singer who was very rich, and she was a socialite, and everyone told her she could sing. Okay, so she believed that she was a very good, well-trained opera singer, but, no one wanted to tell her. And then she would give these concerts, but no one would let her do anything publicly. And every once in a while, someone would sit in the crowd and be like, boo. And she thought that they were just hoodlums that her rivals placed in the audience to give her a bad review. But she was in all these social clubs, and they would come to the shows. And she even recorded albums. And this was in the 20s and 30s. And then one day, in 1944, she got to sing at Carnegie Hall, I think. And see, it couldn't be a private show, because if you sing at a venue like that, the media is allowed in.
Right.
Anyone who buys a ticket. And the next day they wrote in the paper, everyone made fun of her and said she couldn't sing. She didn't notice she couldn't sing. And she died of a heart attack a couple of days later when she read the headlines. That's just heartbreaking. If you have a bunch of yes men around you telling you, oh, you're great. Everything you do is
that
perfect.
is the industry in a lot of cases.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. If you can't sing and you have people around you telling you can sing, you're doing a disservice to everyone around you.
Yeah, but isn't electronics and mixing and all that stuff got a big part in music and singing and voice changing now?
Yeah, but if you constantly use electronics to fix your voice, you can't sit here and be like, fading in and out of music, this is just the way I use it. See, you can't sit there and do that.
Do that again.
Well, I'm just saying, if you rely on technology or machines, when it comes down to it and your microphone breaks down, but your fans are still there, they still want to hear you, you going to refund them their money? I mean, I'd rather sing to them and refund them their money, because obviously it's the people doing the tech. It's their fault. But you always want to give your fans and your customers their money's worth. That's what I'm saying. So relying on technology to fix your voice, to sing it in tune. Hey, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't do runs like that. I wish I could do the Whitney Houston runs, the Christina Aguilera runs, but I don't do it. So I don't put that in my record. I could easily get auto-tune to do it for me. But I know when you come see me.
What's auto-tune?
Auto-tune is when they automatically tune your voice. See, what it's used for is if you sing one note that's flat, you could just fix it. Just a quick fix. But auto-tune became popular because people just like the electronic sound of it. See, you're not supposed to notice the little places. Okay, so people like the sound. I like the sound too. But some people rely too heavily on it. Like, that's all it is. Because you can sing off key and it won't matter because it automatically tunes it.
Okay.
And another problem with auto-tune is if you have the wrong person doing auto-tune, it'll still sound off key. You have to still have it. Someone has to be very skilled, a skilled professional to use auto-tune anyway. So even that takes a talent. But my point is, if my fans want to hear me sing, they can hear me sing because I don't rely on auto-tune.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello, baby. How you do today? I don't sing either, but one of the big things is we're seeing a lot of young singers that burn out early in time right now. What is that?
I don't. I haven't heard of any. I wish
They
some
just,
of them would burn out.
I mean, they're out there singing their hearts out, and then all of a sudden we don't hear from them anymore.
Oh, that could be a number of reasons. People
Really?
get blacklisted.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They could be on a drug binge. I mean, that could be anything. Sometimes it's just hard.
The industry is not easy.
No, it's
and
not.
It's not nice.
It's not a nice industry. Regardless to who you know or what your intentions may be. You can have positive intentions and still have the cruelest people around you. I mean, you could do everything right and still not get any recognition for it.
So, about the finances of the industry, let's talk about that a little bit. How do they actually collect the money, save the money, whatever they do with the money?
Well,
I hear that a lot of people say their managers eat up all the profit.
Well, what I will tell you, if a manager is eating up all your profit, he's doing something right. Now, I'm not defending the bad guys, but what I am saying, if he has found a way for an artist to make money, then you've got something there. So if you are doing shows and you're only getting a very small amount of money, hey, I mean, it may not be what you want, but any manager that's going to fight for you and that's going to get you in a position to make money, get you a publishing deal, a distribution deal. See, these are small things that a manager is able to do. And if they do it, then they're legit. They're cool because it puts you in a position to make money. So even if you aren't making a lot of money, when the money comes, it'll come. So, a lot of people, they get a publishing contract, which is something that I want to have. I want a publishing deal because I don't want to publish all my music myself. That's my opinion. I know all artists are like, why would you do that if you want, I feel like if a publisher is going to promote my music for me,
that's a good thing.
yeah, you can take your 50% as long as you're really promoting it. You're really contributing to its success, my song's success.
50%?
Yeah. See, with publishing, here's the tricky part. And the thing is, the music business didn't make this rule. There's one publishing company that made this rule. So you publish one half of your song, and the publisher publishes the other half of your song. See, it is unfair, but that's just the way it is. And it costs more money to become a music publisher than it becomes an artist. At least when I came in, you want to know how old I was. When I came into the music business, it was $12, I think, to sign up as an artist. And I think what's really strange is they went up on the price, but they went up an exceedingly higher amount. Like, that's nothing. Like, so they didn't go up to like $15. They went up by a lot. So, but that's a one-time fee. I'm with ASCAP. So, like,
with who?
ASCAP, American Society of Authors and Publishers.
Okay.
So,
where do you see young people when they start starting out? Where do you think is a good start from? Church? Where do you think
church is good because
notoriety?
Because people can't laugh at you in church. And I think that and people can't laugh at you singing bad in church. I mean, they're not allowed to laugh at you.
I better go to church and sing every Sunday then.
Oh yeah, but it's a good practice. Best thing about church is singing with the choir. I mean, I'm not saying not having a solo, but the fact that you can sing in harmony and listen and be a part of something beautiful like that. There's nothing wrong with singing at church.
The reason I ask that because a lot of people start in church. Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, all that group, Dionne Warwick, they all started in church.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dionne Warwick, she is still banging it out there.
Oh, yeah.
She's still getting it.
Still is.
70 years old.
Yeah.
And I want to say something about that. Sometimes people should listen to the old style music, I think,
Yeah.
to get the feeling of what music was all about.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I want to ask you, music during drama, when things are going bad and, you know, you feel like you've just been beat up by the boss in the daytime, traffic is bad, you're out of gas almost, you just barely make it home, and you're sitting there going, oh my God, I made it, and you slam the door, going inside and lock all the locks with the 7 or 8 locks that you got on the inside of the door. What's the first thing you listen to?
Party music.
Oh,
Drake.
Drake.
I'd probably listen to Drake
Why?
because I would probably just want to dance. I would want to go to the club.
Really?
You seem very disappointed.
But a lot of
that's
people
what-
don't go to clubs no more.
They probably don't have a ride because that's why I don't go to the club.
What do you say? You don't have a Benz or a BMW or something like that?
Thanks for
three of
putting
them?
it out there that I don't have a BMW. We're
Okay.
talking about royalties. I ain't got no BMW royalties.
Oh, I thought you was one of those folks there, folks.
Nah.
A millionaire lady and singer. What do you do to exercise your voice? I mean, how much is there something that you actually go through the motion doing every day to keep your voice in contention and to keep it sharp?
Being quiet is one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Being quiet is one of the best exercises you could do for your voice. Be it a good singer or a bad singer. I have smaller exercises that I do, which is, I won't spit on the mic, but like that's a good exercise. I work out, when I do my harder core stuff, I try to do it with a coach because I'm trying to sing. I'm experimenting with a new style of singing, and I don't like doing it on my own. Unfortunately, it's a rare style, and everyone doesn't like it. They think it's silly. But it's something that I'm working on, which unfortunately, since there aren't a lot of specialists in it, it's a little tougher. And it could cause a little vocal damage, but working with a coach, even if it's with a different type of style of singing, I do that. And I don't do it on a weekly basis because I think we all need breaks. And having long breaks for my voice is best for me in particular because of what? My voice and my throat. And you know what I mean? Especially being in a musical, singing that often and having gigs in between. Part of why I joined the musical is because I wanted to like be cheaper and like have free voice lessons. So I kind of used it for that. Like some of the vocal exercises we did was chewing. It's like, like that's a good vocal exercise, like a pre-warm up. Get your voice kind of warm. It kind of shakes out.
I didn't know they
diction.
warm up. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be ignorant of the fact, but
It's okay.
they actually practice to warm up.
Yeah,
All right.
I do. Well,
Uh-huh.
I take very good care of my voice in those areas. I'm not saying I'm perfect and everything that I've done is just like, oh, you know, like, oh, that can't happen to me. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't make mistakes because, like I said, I'm experimenting with the new style of singing, you know, that I didn't grow up with.
What made you do that?
Well, because I knew I could do it. And I thought about doing it when I was younger. And I was discouraged by it by relatives. And part of why I stopped was because the type of stress that I was going through in my life then. The problem is I ended up in that same stress. So the type of style that I'm doing, like you can't be around a lot of stress. Here, let me explain what I mean. If you're around people who constantly bicker, argue, and always in a
Yelling,
bad
screaming,
mood,
and fighting on all those expletives.
exactly.
Coming out.
Other than the emotional, what it does to your vocal cords in that way, it's also stressful because at some point you're going to speak up for yourself, like, be quiet, stop fighting, leave me alone, go away. You're going to scream. And that's why it's harmful to any singer's voice. But with the style that I'm doing, which is like a soprano type of style, singing very, very high in the 8VA, that can hurt. And especially when you're experimenting with that, being in a stressful situation won't help. It can really cause vocal damage. So I'm singing that style while there are people around me constantly bickering, constantly in a bad mood. And also the type of foods that you eat. You don't want to eat a lot of spicy foods and, risk burning your vocal cords, because it can happen. I've known singers who have vocal damage from acid reflux. And the second that you feel any type of heartburn, get something to soothe it. I'm talking about pills for acid reflux, and try your best to improve your diet. Hey, it's not easy, because if it were easy,
there are things you have to do to protect your voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And to make sure it is there for a while.
Yeah.
Carmen McRae was singing. She sang over 45 years in her career.
Yeah.
Nancy Wilson is still, and I heard her not too long ago on a recording. That lady still can bang it out beautifully.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And it's crazy because with Aretha Franklin's voice, she's so good and she actually gets better. It's like, that's like so far advanced, because I saw her on Christmas, like a Christmas special a couple of years ago on the Talk, I believe. And she did all these runs, but they were going up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So she's really good. I think Aretha Franklin is one of those best singers. It's like all of the best singers look up to her anyway.
Diana Ross is pretty good still.
Yeah, she definitely has a lighter voice, more of a pop singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things we want to talk a little bit about right now for a minute there, we want to get off on this, and we want to put something out to the public, is the CLL, LLCS, that's the Leukemia Society and Lymphoma Society in San Francisco. We are hooked with them now because I am taking donations for Man of the Year. Man of the Year and Woman of the Year has been in our society for the last 26 years, and they have raised $150 million for research, patient care, and the advocacy of children. Candidates of this campaign represent the community and business leaders with a passion for making a difference and to drive to make it happen. We're out here because a lot of people have CLL, have this chronic lymphoma, whatever the other word is, CLL, with medical terminology. Boy, I blew it on that one, didn't it? But anyway, it's leukemia, lymphomas, and myeloma. It's all cancer. And we at this station are right now joining in with the Lymphoma Society in San Francisco, and we're going to raise money because there is so many people in the inner cities that are hassling with cancer right now, because of the pesticides and herbicides, and there is a lot of industrial buildings within all of the major cities in the minority community. This is where they kind of push people, over there where there's small shops and and heavy welding and stuff like that. Even chrome plating shops were in East Oakland and West Oakland for a while there. And all this kind of stuff just brings on. One of the things I want to say, cancer is ever creeping. The research is wonderful. We need to get more money into it. Need to get more people behind it. And I want you to say something to somebody. If you think that you want to donate, thoughtsofacommonman.net. And there's a link on there that is thoughtsofacommonman.net. And I want you to help me make a difference. I have CLL, I have leukemia, and it's a fight.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I went through some of the most invasive chemotherapy in 2013 that you can handle. And since I was so bad, I had to take the chemo for a 250-pound man. So they gave me chemo that really knocked my socks off. But here I am today. and I'm still fighting, and I'm telling people how to fight. You know, there is over 1 million people with CLL right now, chronic lymphoma, leukemia lymphoma. I want you to get out there, folks. I want you to talk to people. I want you to go online. I want you to go on my link, thoughtsofacommonman.net. Whatever you can donate. And people are saying now, well, I don't have the money. That pack of cigarettes. Okay. Hey,
yeah, spend your cigarette money on this, people. It's a good cause.
Really?
Yeah.
And and a lot of people smoke. Still.
Yeah.
And you know what? They just came out with things about these vapor cigarette things. They're no better than the regular cigarettes, from what I understand.
Well, that's obvious.
The
only difference is you can smoke them inside because they evaporate into the air. Goes back to the steam cycle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only thing better about them.
But they're still the same old dog.
It still does the same thing to the inside of your body.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to bring on here is, you know what? As a community, and I was listening to the killing of Will Smith in New Orleans this past, the football player from, not Will Smith, the actor, but the football player from the Saints. Somebody killed him this past week. And it was just a loss to us. And we're at an impasse in this thing in the inner city community. We are killing each other faster than they were killing people in Vietnam.
Wow.
Could you imagine that, Fatima?
Yeah, I think it's sad. I'm so disappointed.
You get around the inner city community, you see all this stuff. I mean, guns, anger. There is an element that came out from J. Edgar Hoover. And old J. Edgar was a little bit of a twit. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
He was a strange bird, but what he brought out in his era was psychological aggression. What this is the aggression that is born into people of different generations. And as the generations progress, the aggressiveness progresses. We're at the time now where people are killing people with guns. Guns are like everything. Guns make you big, but guns will take your life. 50% of the people right now in prisons in this country are black because they're killing a black person.
Yeah.
50% of the incarcerated people in this country. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm going to say something on the air here. You're a target. If you're black, you're a target. If you're Latino, you're a target. If you are a minority, you are a target. Look at New York City and what's coming about the way they target the minority community in New York. How they focus on the minority community for whatever, because they're feeding into the prison system, Fatima.
Yeah.
They're feeding, and this is big business. The incarceration system right here in this country is $1 billion business, and it pays big money to investors. Could you believe that?
That's sad.
It pays, it's billions and billions of dollars. And what you are out there with your emotion and your anger and your little attitude standing on the corner with your little, what they call your little gat in your pocket, your little piece or whatever you want to call it, when you kill somebody or when you harm somebody, you're in there. Your life is over with. You know what? The other thing I want to say to you is, assassinations. There are political assassinations. When you kill somebody, somebody kills you. This is the big thing in the hood right now. And you know what? The other thing I want to say that's really dismeaning and demeaning that I don't like to hear no more is the N-word. We use that N-word so loosely.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Tila Tequila called Azalea Banks the N-word. And it's like, be quiet. You know what I mean? Like, who are you to say that word when you're not even African American? Like, unless you're a member of a hate group, like, don't say that word. That's offensive to not only Azalea Banks, who I'm sure is upset, but to everyone else that has no care for Azalea Banks or Tila Tequila. Like, that's a harmful word that people should stay away from unless they they want fighting. Unfortunately, I think she only did it for publicity.
Well, you know what it means? People don't really know what it means.
Exactly.
It means no soul.
Yeah.
The first part. You're 3/4 of a human being. That means you have no soul. That means you're closer to the animal species. And now what people are calling people in the inner cities and the inner communities, they're calling them hood rats.
Yeah.
That is so demeaning. So when you couple the N word, and I hear it, I see it all over Facebook. Yeah. My in this and my in that and that in that and this in that, and and they out there fighting on Facebook. Now, if you're out there like some gladiator in the inner cities, and white people are looking at you, the world is looking at you. How do you think you look, America, Black America, Latino America? And you're out there with this word. You're posting it all over the place. So why in the living hell shouldn't somebody come back and call you that word? Because it's out there so loose. You use it loose.
And that's another thing. Like, if you're Asian, how would you feel if for the rest of your for 5 weeks someone constantly called you the N-word? You'd be upset because the N-word is an insult. It's the worst thing you could call someone. So regardless to if you're black or not, it's still an insulting word. I think she should go for 5 weeks being called the N-word. That should be her punishment, And that word is just so disgusting. Like, I wasn't raised to say that word, but I was given the option. If you want to say it. I'm glad that I don't use that word. I have used a word before in the past, and I remember the first time I said that word, my friend dropped the phone. She said, I never heard you say that word before. Like, that word is, I've done plays where I've had to use the N-word or use similar words. That's a little different. But, that word is just so hurtful. It brings up
so much. It just brings
nasty
up so
feelings.
Much. And you know what? I'm looking at one thing right now. I'm looking at people posting hangings on Facebook, hangings everywhere.
Yeah.
Dadgummit, get away from it.
Yeah.
We're not. If you want to live back in those days, you don't have the stamina. You ain't the person those people were.
Yeah.
You're nothing compared to what those people today. You're not a pimple on a dog's butt compared to those people. Those people sacrificed their lives for you to move forward. Exactly. And here you are out here killing each other and maiming and demeaning each other like you're dogs. So the word hood rat now is becoming synonymous to black people in the inner cities. Hood rats. That's totally demeaning.
Yeah.
That's the lowest of lowest. So if you're out there and you think you got it all, and you know what? One of the things I want to say, Fatima, is these people got their priorities in the wrong place. I saw a guy spending $10,000 on an '85 Buick, and it wouldn't pass smog. He yelling at the man about it, pass smog. Why can't you educate yourself? I look at you. Baby, you are an example of a super beautiful, super gorgeous woman that's out there trying to do something, and you're doing it from your heart. There are people out there who can sing. There are people out there who can be mechanics. But you got to get out of that ghetto mystique. What I call ghetto fabulous. You know what I mean? Yeah. The lady walked into, I was in an agency talking the other day to a lady, I'm going to interview coming up, and the girl walked in with red, green, and yellow hair.
What's wrong with that?
Everybody, you cannot go into corporate America looking like that.
Oh, you said corporate America?
Corporate America. Can't go into corporate America looking like that.
Was she the celebrity person? Or
No.
What was her job?
Every day she was going for the shuffle paper.
Well, they're probably just barely paying her. You know that.
You cannot go into the corporate center or corporate culture. And one of the things I'm going to tell you, the world is not ready for hood rat America, as they call us. The world is not ready for that. Mm-hmm. You want to be Afro-nique, you know what? But you got when you in there like this, you got to be part of the Trojan horse. Yeah. You have to dress the part. You have to speak the part. And if you cannot speak the English language, you are in trouble. Yo, man, what's happening?
So the girl with the pink, yellow, and green hair, or red, yellow, and green, she was just like a helper, like an intern?
She was applying for a job.
Oh, she was applying for the job.
Applying for a job. And I'm going to tell you something. She was not black. And they turned her down. They looked at the hair and turned her down.
Well, yeah. What kind of corporate job was it?
It was in an insurance company.
And, oh, God, this isn't looking good for her. Okay. So her job was to be selling the insurance?
No. Her job will be distributing papers and doing computer logic to computer work, entry work to all the people that came in the door.
Can't really
She was
defend
not
that.
black, but it goes to show you have to fit in.
Yes, in a corporate job. See, with corporate, everyone has to look like
Everybody got to look like a clone.
that's the only difference. You can't stand out with a corporate job. You're not an artist. If you want to be an artist, then that's okay. You can wear green hair. I wanted to know more about it because I wear those colors hairs.
Yeah.
So I was trying to defend her,
you're performing. You're not looking.
Yeah, and that's also who I am.
Yeah, you can't go into a job setting with all the wild stuff.
Well, not if you're applying to work for them. If you're the person,
it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, who's paying?
AINT. You want to put that in? Is not.
Yeah, the person paying them for insurance can have whatever color hair they want.
Right.
But you can't work for them and
You're
have
in customer service.
rainbow
you can't
hair.
do that.
Yeah.
You gotta play the play and do the do, and you gotta get away from this stuff. You gotta go back to school here, inner city America. You gotta educate yourself. This is the best way keep from getting shot and having to stand on the corner with a laptop, doing your little business and selling your little drugs. And that's what I'm talking about. We're not here to die. No. We're here to challenge life. We're not here to be called the N-word and to degrade ourselves with hood rat. That is so demeaning. And out there killing each other. They kill, like that man said, 55% of everybody incarcerated now kill somebody. Black men.
Yeah.
Violence against another black person. Here we go, folks.
It's tough.
We got to do better. Shooting and killing. Once you do that, they're going to kill you. The system's going to kill you. Look at last month where they shot this man 19 times in San Francisco.
Wow. Yeah.
All over the country. Right on national TV, on Facebook. They choked the Mexican man to death. They kept yelling, "Quit resisting." The man is dying. And his wife and his family is sitting there watching him die right there on Facebook. Quit resisting. And they say that to perpetrate more violence against you. So get off of it, America. You're a target out there if you're in the inner city. You're a target. And they got cops out there that'll kill you quick.
Yeah, for no reason.
For no reason.
Cops don't have to have a reason to harm you.
No, they don't. And they're going to get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to get away with it. Am I right?
Yeah, you're very right.
Prosecutors, judges.
All you have to do if you want to come and say, "Oh, I wonder what it's like to be harassed by a cop." All you have to do is just stand there.
Right.
I mean,
you don't have to do anything.
You don't you could look at your cell phone. You could be reading a book or a newspaper in a public library. You can wait for the bus. I mean, you don't have to do anything.
That's right.
To be harassed by a cop.
That's right. And they're aggressive now.
Yeah, if you go to school and get your education, the cops will harass you.
That's right. Look at what happened to that 14-year-old girl last week.
Yeah.
They slammed her. He picked her up and slammed her face first into the concrete. Now, you tell me out there that this is supposed to be this way. To serve from the blue nation, the secret blue nation, I'll call it. There are some good cops. Don't get me wrong. There's some excellent policemen out there. There are people who will give their life for you. But there are people out there who will take your life. And the bad thing about it is subversive organizations have found out that's the best way to perpetrate their violence against minorities and whoever they perpetrate violence against. They're joining police forces. This is a whole convoluted thing, and this country is out of it right now. It's all mixed up. This is the Chief, KGM1.com, and I want to tell you, this has been a good session here, but cover your tails, America. Cover your backside, because you know what? When you commit a crime, they will get you, baby. And if you're out there killing somebody, they will kill you. Watch out there. The hood rat community, they're being called demeaning. And quit demeaning each other. Kill that N-word. And stop all the stuff that you're hanging people on Facebook. That incites so much riotsy. You know, it incites people. You know, and I want to say I love you very much, America. But let's talk some truth here. This is the Chief. KGM1.com. Right here in Alameda, California. And we love you. Fatima, say bye.
Bye.
There you go, baby.